I took off my shoes and my toes did this. I was walking like, I don't want to touch it. Anyway. Hey y'all, welcome back to JJWB TV. You are watching The Traveling Jays and I'm your host Janelle. So this week I'm taking you to Tokyo TeamLab in Japan. So according to the website, TeamLab is an immersive experience comprised of 4 large-scale artwork spaces and 2 gardens. And the idea is that artworks change with the presence of people. And so this video is for you if you're planning your trip to Japan and you want to know a little bit more about this major attraction, or if you're already a part of our traveling family, this is our weekly Wednesday installment of everything that we did for our 14-day trip to Japan. So without further delay, let's just get right into it.
I just wanna love myself. 난 좋을 때도 나쁠 때도 love my weakness. 화려했던 기대와는 달리 왠지 볼품없다 해도 find the good parts, the good parts.
And so one thing I need you to know is that this is not a regular museum type of situation. It is fully immersive. And the first thing I need to tell, matter of fact, no, let me back it up. You can go directly to the website and book your tickets, but even though it translates to English, everything is still like in yen and things like that. So an adult ticket is 3,800 yen, which equals to about $26 US. A teen ticket, and they break it down as teen and junior high. That's gonna run you about 2,300 yen, which breaks down to about $15.70 US. And then children are 1,300 yen, which breaks down to a whopping $8.91 US. So very affordable. For 4 people, we spent $83.58. Okay, so you get your tickets online, you make your reservation. There was a nice long line outside, okay, but it moved very quickly. Then you move into this like general meeting space, and while you're in there waiting, there's an announcement playing explaining that you're gonna have to take off your shoes. And I was like, cool, this is Japan. We take off our shoes here. No, let me tell you something. Come here. You have to take off your socks and shoes. You gotta walk through here barefoot, okay? That's something that folks might miss when you're looking at stuff on TikToks and Instagram, okay? You gotta walk through this thing barefoot. So if you're like me and just a little bit of a germaphobe, I was like, all these feet walking through here, just naked feet, just toes out, just a whole smorgasbord of toe jam. That's what we doing? The answer is yes, that's what you're doing. So shoes and socks have to come off. They do provide you lockers for free. You don't have to pay extra for that. But before you're even allowed to enter into the museum portion, you gotta take your shoes off right then and there. So you're putting your bare feet on ground where everyone's feet and shoes and sandals and muck have been all day, and your toes. I took off my shoes and my toes did this. I was walking like, I don't wanna touch it. Anyway, so you take your socks and shoes off, you put everything in your lockers, make sure you've got something to keep the key in, don't lose your key. And then you get ushered down this hall, and the hallway is like on a slant, and there's water rushing down. So in my brain, I am hoping that there was some type of disinfectant in that water, and they was just cleaning all the sweat and all the travels and all the journeys off of everybody's feet. Because again, being a little bit OCD about things being clean, I was having a really hard time with that part. I was walking through the thing like this. Okay, so once your feet are clean, you get ushered into another room where there's towels and you get to dry off. Okay, feeling a little bit better, but I'm still looking at all of these strangers and all of their feet and all of their toes. Anyway, and don't get me started about how the room just smelled like feet. Just smelled like a smorgasbord, a whole jambalaya of toe jam, of just cheesy Cheeto toes. Anywho, after you got through the whole little cool, spaceship looking hallway with the water running down, the first room you step in, my bonus daughter, she just sank down. I don't know what that room was, because at this point we didn't realize that there were like little descriptions of the room that you were about to go in. So we just walked into this dark room and she just plummeted. There is like particles floating in here. Or it's like, I don't know.
You didn't see the shorts in the lady room?
I am not sure what the purpose of this room was, but it was hilarious because people were falling all over the place. They were getting stuck. I don't know what this room was. I don't recommend it. but you can't avoid it because you have to go through it. I don't know what the purpose of that room was. It was like, I don't know. Moving on. So you're walking back through the hallway again. And so the next space, you walk in there and that was pure magic.
Let's go.
We spent the most time in this room. And so this was like the crystal room exhibit. I don't know. I turned into a little girl and I'm fluttering around. I'm twirling. We're taking pictures. We're doing slow-mos. We're finding little spots to post up and have a whole family photo shoot, which everybody was. It was pure magic.
Look at each other. Slowly look at the camera.
Oh, y'all need help.
We spent quite a bit of time in there. Once we left that room, the next room we were in, I didn't get too much video of it because it was hard to record, but you come in and you sit on the floor, and the entire ceiling and the walls, like if you've ever been to a planetarium and you like sit and like the whole theater is the screen, it was kind of like that. So everybody had to scoot together in the middle, still barefoot. Scoot together in the middle and you just sit up, and there was all these flowers. It kind of felt like you were a shooting star through a space of flowers. And there's just a lot of imagery and a lot of lights. It was very peaceful, had some very calming music. And so we sat there and enjoyed that for a while. But then once we realized there was nothing to do except just kind of sit here and look at the 3D images, we moved on. Okay, and so then the next room, you walk in and you step down into a puddle. The entire room was filled with water, and the water came up to about my mid-calf area, a little bit higher. And so we're all just walking around in this milky bathtub looking water. Like, you know how when you watch movies, for some reason, when people take a bath, like the water always looks like milk? That's what it looked like. And I'd be wondering, like, why are they sitting in dirty milk water? But anyway, that's what it looked like. And it's like you were like you became a part of this koi pond. Listen, when I tell you, at first, 100% freaked out. 100%. Because like now, it's bad enough that y'all got me in here barefoot with this community of feet. But now I can't even see what I'm stepping on. You are literally walking through this large room of milky bathtub water. And there's graphics all over in the pond. And so you look closer and you realize that you're walking through like a digital koi pond. And so there's fish lights floating around, and it was really pretty. And then, once I like got out of my head about the feet thing, I definitely returned back to like 8-year-old Janelle and started dancing around and fluttering around, and me and the girls were cracking up. Wonderful time in there until we stepped on something that was kind of squishy. It was an unidentified squishy thing on the floor, but we can't see it because the color is milky yellow koi pond water. We can't see what I'm stepping on. I don't know what it was. It could have been spinach. It could have been a disintegrated sponge. It could have been somebody's scrunchie. All I knew was it's time to go. I'm done with this space. This was really cute. I enjoyed my few minutes in Wonderland, but I have stepped on an unidentifiable object and I'm ready to go. So we left. And then we get online for the flower room. Now, I didn't know about this room. The girls knew about this, so they were very excited. Yana, is this the one?
This is the one.
Cool thing about the flower room is that they only allow a certain amount of people in at a time because it was a pretty small space. They let a small amount of people in at a time so that you can kind of enjoy it. And you really have to go in and just kind of sit down, and these flowers just fall from the ceiling. Like they're hanging, so they're just kind of coming up and down. And so you just get this really beautiful, I just turned into a little garden fairy, and I'm floating through the garden of flowers. It was very pretty. It's timed, so you don't get to spend as much time in there, and it's hard to get a good picture because there's so many people. And so we could set up a really cool shot, and then you got feet back here, or you got somebody else's, feet. Or somebody else is kind of halfway in your shot. It was very difficult to get isolated shots of that one. After that room, you did get to dry your feet off again before you went into the next space. So this room has some
Kidney beans.
Kidney beans,
on
eggs.
hills.
What's this room for?
It's a garden.
Of what? Of chrome
kidney
dinosaur
beans.
eggs.
Alien eggs. Godzilla eggs. That's Godzilla eggs. Godzilla.
I like that. I like that idea. These were some big dinosaur eggs ready to hatch. We didn't like that room. I'm not gonna lie to you. We didn't like that garden. I didn't see the point of that one. We didn't even really take pictures in there because I was like, what is this? ¿Qué es eso? ¿Pero por qué? Why do we do this? ¿Por qué? Por favor, explain it to me. By the way, today's video is brought to you by no one. I'm just practicing for when I start to get brand deals. Anyway, back to the museum. Then I found out that there's a whole nother Tokyo TeamLabs that we could have gone to. So there's two. But I don't know, depending on when you're going, I do believe that they're closing the other one. So I'm not even gonna tell you about that because look it up. It's called Tokyo TeamLabs Borderless, I believe. And they've got some cool exhibits with lanterns and a waterfall and all that. So 2 different locations, but the Borderless is being closed because they're making a whole like new town where that is. And I don't know if it's gonna open up somewhere else or not. So that was our TeamLabs experience. I would rate it a 7.5. 7.5 out of 10 because it was a different experience. All right, y'all, that was our trip to Tokyo TeamLabs. I do recommend, especially if you're someone that is not all that concerned about feet hygiene and that level of cleanliness, you know, that won't bother you, go for it. It is a magical, wonderful experience. It is unlike any other museum that I've been to, and it didn't cost an arm and a leg. So for that, I do recommend. So make sure that you subscribed. I'm dropping a new video about our experience in Japan every Wednesday. And next week, I am showing y'all how we transformed into samurais. Wait, let me get my sword. Do I have a sword? I don't have a sword. Is my nail file. This will be my sword. I'm gonna show you how we transformed into